Okay, hello to everyone. It is 11:11 on March 11th. So we have six ones all lined up here at this moment of now on the Pacific coast of California. We're actually way up in the north of California in the shadow of Mount Shasta, it's close to Oregon. And it is indeed 11:11 on March 11th. I'm Stephen the Channeler,
And this is Stephanie. Welcome.
and we are here for another session of Blessings from the Dragon. And every Wednesday and Friday we do or Wednesday and Saturday we do live streams at 11:11. And the Wednesday live streams are all about doing an energetic blessing, reading, sharings, basically the energetics of the day, and then also Jadon Se will often come through with what is needed to give each of you a little boost for working with dragon energies or entering the golden age, whatever is appropriate. So it's we do open up after the blessings for we open up for sharings and any sort of clarifications about the energetics or the blessings. This session is less about questions for the dragon and more about sharings and aligning energies and things like that. If you do have anything for those gathered here, please post it in the chat in all uppercase when there's an opening for that. And we ask that it not be very personal or private. This is a gathering of usually between 30 and 40 light workers, dragon keepers, and so if you could keep your comments, sharings, questions to topics that would be relevant for everyone gathered here, that'd be much appreciated. So thank you all for being here. Let's go ahead and do shout outs. You can see where on this beautiful shining world we are right now. And let's bring up a map of our usual folks that keep gathering week after week. Each of you hopefully has your own little blue dot, and so we'll do shout outs if there are any newcomers who don't have their position marked on this map. That would be wonderful to add you because it truly is a dragon grid here. So Stephanie's going to go ahead and do some shout
Okay,
outs.
well, welcome Toronto, Canada. And I see there's Vancouver-ish, British Columbia, Canada. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Welcome Chile. And Malatya, Turkey. Welcome Berkeley, California. Long Island. Welcome Thailand. And greetings from Vancouver Island. And we have Belgium. I don't know how to say that last, the
Arshot.
Arshat. And we have Price, Utah. Welcome, everyone.
Well, very good. Well, we already have quite the global gathering here. We haven't heard from Africa yet. We often get South Africa and Nairobi, Kenya. We don't seem to have Australia yet either, who are very regular on these live streams. But aside from that, it looks like we have most of the world represented here. Beautiful energies. Thank you all for tuning in. And any latecomers, please do shout out where you are, and we'll call you out. Okay, very good. Well, thank you all for joining, and we're going to go ahead and drop into channel straight off the bat and see what Jadon Se has to say. Let's go ahead and do some quick announcements before we drop into channel. First announcement is on March 15th, the Ides of March, as they say in Julius Caesar, but we don't have to beware of the Ides of March this time. It's a good thing. On March 15th, the Golden Codes series begins, and this is it's a series of 7 workshops, each one allowing us to unburden ourselves of the heavy weights that have been holding us back and kind of keeping us from really having a spring in our step into this golden age. Many are dealing with various traumas and wounds and all sorts of burdens and subconscious routines and belief systems that no longer serve us, from connected lifetimes on this Gaia, being of service, being light workers, which most of you are, if not all. So many people have these ancestral influences and really need to give forgiveness and learn self-love and acceptance and create the appropriate boundaries and remove the boundaries that are no longer needed, and really look at self-talk and self-image issues and beliefs, traumas. Many beautiful light workers are still full of denial, or just sort of traumas from the past, or really playing small because it wasn't safe in the past to really speak truth to power, because so many of us were persecuted for that. So anyway, it's 7 workshops basically healing all of that stuff and letting go of it. So the first golden code is worthiness. I am worthy. And so that'll be on March 15th. And then every Sunday after that, there'll be another workshop. The next will be I am safe, which is safe, protected, supported, all of that. Next after that'll be I am ready for this golden age. Ready meaning that you are basically aligning your own beingness with stepping into this golden age, and that should be a really powerful one. I am confident. I am able. That's one and the same, able and confident. I am supported, and that's a very important one. Feeling deeply into the support that is always there from higher self, from spirit, from the guides, masters, yes, dragons. And I am called. It is my purpose to step into this golden age. I'm truly being of service by being on earth at this time, stepping into this golden age, being a way shower, and all of that. And then the final one is I am a spark of the divine. So it is all of these will come together in the final workshop. I'm a spark of the divine, and that will unlock all of the worthiness, safety, confident capabilities, readiness, support. All of that will just be activated all at once. So the 7th one should be very powerful as well. And all of them are, optional. You don't have to do them in sequence. You don't have to do all of them. If you are called, if you feel like you're carrying a burden that one of these will help with, that's what these are for. And we try to make them very affordable. They're $33 per workshop, or if you want to do all 7, we had there's a little discount. It's a $222 for all 7. Again, you don't have to do all 7. Participate in the ones that you are called to participate in. And these are suggested donations, so we're not trying to block anyone from this. If you can make a larger donation, please do. And if you don't feel like you can afford one that you really want to attend, just make whatever donation you can, and we'll get you on the list and get you into that class. So very good. It's going to be great, because so many of us really need to, we understand what we need to release, but these workshops will give the process of releasing and unburdening and, aligning with this golden age. So Jadon Se is very excited about this. He's already been channeling the outline, and the classes are all starting to come through already. So it's great. Looks like we're joined by a few.
Yeah, I see Merlin has joined us in Amsterdam, Netherlands. Welcome. And someone else from Turkey, and Camden, New Jersey, and welcome, Norway.
Okay, very good. So let's go ahead and go into channel. Jadon Se has pulled a card from the Golden Dragon Oracle deck for each of you, each of us. So if you want to be incorporated in the energetic reading for this card that's being pulled, please just inwardly give permission. Say, Jadon Se, you have my permission to read my energetics for this reading, and that's all that's necessary. We never force any readings or any of these things on anyone. It's always free will. So okay, let me go into channel and we'll see what Jadon Se has to say. I am Jadon Se, Golden Dragon of the third arc of consciousness, and here we are on this 11, 11, 11 portal, let us say. So the time has passed 11:11 when we started. It's still when we set up this inner energetic. So 6 1s all lined up nicely in your Pacific time, dear ones. Feel into that. When you have so many ones, is this not truly a divine alignment, dear ones? Is there not the spark of the divine scintillating in every iota of this gathering? It is beautiful, dear ones. And for this occasion, we have drawn a card from the Oracle deck, dear ones. It is a very appropriate card. Card number 16. Build your dreams, dear ones. It is time. It is time, dear ones. Do you feel this? It is time to concentrate on your dreams and to stop living in lack. If you let your highest dreams guide your plans and actions, nothing can stop you from achieving them in this golden age. Know that support will come, often when you least expect it, dear ones, to make your intentions into a reality. Dear ones, feel this. It is truly time. We will speak a little of the energetics on this planet in a moment. So long as you are moving in the direction of your dreams, you are moving closer to them, dear ones. Some dreams come true with very little resistance, and some dreams require little more effort. Move confidently in the direction of your dreams, dear ones, and your commitment to them will attract galactic support. This is very real, dear ones. When you become committed to a dream, this is more than just a mental assertion or let us say, flexing willpower. It is being committed. This is, when you commit to something, dear ones, you are aligning your beingness with the template of its beingness, let us say. You are taking this commitment and incorporating it into your field. And when you do this, dear ones, it is like creating a hallway through which energies can pass, beings can pass, and it is a self-aligning with that which you are committed to. Dear ones, do you feel this? There is there is power in the word commitment. It is so much more than just intention. Intention is powerful enough on its own. Commitment is every part of yourself aligning with this intention and feeling it, dear ones. You must feel these dreams of yours. What does it feel like? Say your dream is to walk on the beach in Tahiti and to feel the sun upon your face, and this is one of your dreams, and feel what it is like to stand there and listen to the waves and be smelling the air of your Tahiti. And this may be a very minor dream. Do not dream small. Do not dream little vacation trips, dear ones. You can step into an entire new timeline of your dreams. Dear ones, it is time. And many of you have been struggling with your old beliefs and all of the things that are these programs of self-limitation, you might say, looking in the mirror and not liking the appearance of your form, or looking at your bank account and not liking what you see there, or looking at the current state of some of your relationships and seeing something that could be better, and all of this, and feeling in so many ways that you have tried and tried, but you are just up against these blockages, or it keeps looping, or it keeps coming back. These problems keep surfacing. Dear ones, know that it is time to release all of that. We are going to let go of problem consciousness, lack consciousness, limitation consciousness, and we are going to pick up the mantle of our own spirit, which is the consciousness of abundance, the consciousness of love, unity, compassion, joy, wisdom, dear ones, deep understanding. In order to do this, dear ones, this is a transformation. It is like the moth or the butterfly. Let us just say a beautiful butterfly that still feels like a caterpillar, and still working in the chrysalis, the cocoon, let us say. It is time, dear ones, for deep healing, deep unburdening, deeper understanding of how it is that you have come to carry these burdens. And dear ones, at this time, beautiful beings, spirits, angels, dragons, masters, are here to help you heal, dear ones. Your own higher self is orchestrating. Let us say it is like a temple of healing around you. And it is time for each of you to really, let us say, move beyond lack and limitation and fear and anxiety and trauma and any of these unpleasant experiences of the past. Let us say their time is over. It is time to release and let go of these negative, so-called negative experiences, dear ones. And it is also time to give gratitude for that which was learned from these experiences, to give forgiveness to all of the characters who played the villains in these chapters and all of that. For when you fail to give forgiveness, you are carrying the burden. You are carrying the burden, not the one that you are failing to forgive. They do not feel the burden as much as you do. Those of you who are carrying grudges, vendettas, whatever it is, you are damaging yourselves. You are carrying that weight on your own shoulders. Those of you who wish, well, let us not go down this path. Let us just say that the time for all of that is over, and it is now time to take a deep breath and do some healing. Dear ones, you will see, if you feel like the situation of the world is not such that I have the luxury of taking this deep breath and relaxing, just you wait. You will see the world is realigning with this. You will have an opportunity to heal. The perfect opportunity, you might say, dear ones. And this will allow you to open up to your own spiritual gifts, your own abilities. Call in connected lifetimes of understanding and wisdom and your own, you might call them soul records of light and beauty and wisdom. It is time to pull out the old photo album of the soul and look at the other golden ages you have stood in. Remember them, because you can call that and more into being now. It is really truly time to build your dreams, dear ones. And there are deeper insights at hand for this, dear ones. Let us just say that a time of reflection will make all of the difference. For when you have the moment of silence and reflect on what has come before, when you are able to set down these burdens and just with calm surety look towards the horizon, it is this sort of reflection that will guide you, dear ones. Will give you these deeper insights. Perhaps what you thought were your dreams were just too small. Stop dreaming small. Stop playing small. Reach for the ideal, dear ones. You deserve the greatest ideal, the greatest good for all. Beautiful, dear ones. This is your energetic reading of the moment. And let us just take a quick moment then and feel into this world. Each of you, in your own way, just see if you can catch a glimpse of this golden age where there is abundance of joy, wisdom. Your dreams are are possible in ways that they did not seem like before. And your highest ideals, the greatest good, is visible. Dear ones, let us just take a moment and just feel this golden age within. And as you are gazing upon little snippets or visions of this golden age, these high dreams of yours coming to fruition, walking in garden paradises or having joyful gatherings with loved ones and being surrounded by joy and abundance and beauty, Gaia being restored to purity and her full glory, and star families coming to celebrate. Do you feel even there are doggies around you that are getting excited about this golden age? And dear ones, just anything that comes to you, whether it is a vision or just a sense of wellness, a sense of the highest, greatest good, just feel into this, dear ones. Feel into it. This is, let us say, like a teaser, like a trailer of a movie that is coming soon to a theater near you, so to speak. You are starting to attune your beingness with your highest dreams when you do this. And you can do this whenever you have a quiet moment, whenever you are in a peaceful or tranquil state. Let us say, just open up to these visions of the greatest good, the highest good, your highest timeline, your dreams coming true, dear ones. And let us just say, they do not need to come true. By the time you have dreamed a dream, it is already in your field. It is already being prepared for you in some way, shape, or form. It is already true. And so, if you can dream it, it is coming. So, dear ones, this is what we shall be doing. Every gathering, we will take a moment to just feel into our highest, greatest good, our highest timeline, our dreams, dear ones. Beautiful. This card came at a perfect time, drawn from your Golden Dragon Oracle deck. And dear ones, make use of your own inner guidance throughout the day. If you are, let us say, distracted with life and responsibilities and burdens of some sort, take a moment, take a deep breath, exhale fully, and tap into this inner guidance of yours. It is always there. It is always ready. Just even a glimpse of some high timeline or dream of yours, something ideal for that moment, dear ones, is always available to you. You are not blocked from it. And if you feel like you are having trouble doing this, just breathe and let your breath guide you into that vision or that feeling or that sense of your dreams, dear ones. This is your reading for today. We will now, let us say, tune into the chat, and we will see if there are sharings or deeper understandings present here at this time. Your Stephanie will guide us through this.
Okay, let's see. There's a sharing. Which star race will throw the best party after Earth's situation is cleaned up? Dragon parties are the best.
And dear ones, party is, let us say, an understatement. It will be a jubilee like none has been seen on this world for many eons. Let us just say that instead of fireworks, you will see beautiful ships making beautiful designs and colors throughout the skies. And instead of confetti, it will be like showers of auric light and spirit coming down, like a rain of light, you might say, in different colors. And you can feel into the celebrations already, dear ones. Some of them are even visible in your 3D waking, quote unquote, reality, and many of them available to you in so many different dimensions of understanding, dear ones. Let us just say that there will be, each of you will be the host of your own sort of spirit party in some way. And of course, dragon parties are the best. Did I say that? Well, dragons, well, we will just say that dragon parties have special party favors and gifts and things like this. And dragons have wings, dear ones. Never forget this. Some will become dragon riders at a dragon party for the first time in this life, let us say. It is worthy of celebrating, dear ones. However, let us do the final unburdening before we fully get into the celebrations. Let us make sure that we are not leaving anyone behind that is still weighed down by some weight of beingness. And let us give a helping hand to those who are struggling to get themselves into this golden age. So let us make sure that enough of us are able to join the party, so to speak. That is the energy of today. Thank you for this.
Let's welcome Central Texas and Aaron Darvish from Massachusetts. Let's see, somebody did have a question with these classes, activations through the quantum, and thus timelines, watchable at a later date. So they're asking if they can watch them at a later date.
Dear ones, all of our classes and workshops are given live at some point and recorded. And so those who are joining live, as you are right now, in this moment of now, have a chance to, let us say, participate and interact via the chat or via sharings of some kind. And because of this, there are opportunities to expand upon what the dragon is presenting, and let us just say it enriches the experience to have participants sharing and asking wise and beautiful questions. And yes, dear ones, all of this is then recorded and available. And so, yes, dear ones, if you are not able to join us live, so to speak, when you review the recording, you are still energetically in the same moment of now that this recording was created in. You are still in the field, and everything that is in the class is still available to you. The only difference is that hopefully someone else asked your question for you if you had one, or shared something similar to what you wished to share in the recording. This often happens. Somebody has a question and then another person asks that very question, or the dragon just answers it out of the blue. These magical synchronicities do happen, and so therefore, dear ones, the recordings are just as potent as the live streams, and all are available, dear ones, in perpetuity, as so long as the technology platform is able to deliver such recordings.
Nazi is asking, could you tell us about the Library of Alexandria? I was guided to go to the area where it was supposed to be, but it was blocked by the military. Why is access being blocked? Thank you.
Dear ones, your library of Alexandria was one of several libraries. It is only the famous one that is mentioned in the West so often. There are several of these libraries, and not all of them have been destroyed, dear ones. And let us just say that this library of Alexandria was not only just a repository of knowledge and wisdom and information, it was a great gathering place of beautiful, wise ones. And you hear so often some nations saying we are a melding pot where all these cultures can come together and work in cooperation and camaraderie and all of this. And some nations have achieved this for a time, and others have only stated it but not achieved it. And let us just say your library of Alexandria was one such place where beings could come from any place, point upon this world, and be welcomed, and their wisdom embraced, dear ones. Sometimes there were debates, and some wisdoms were took a little extra effort to be adopted or understood, and so there was sometimes friction. However, this was a beautiful epoch of understanding and sharing of wisdom, sharing of knowledge. Yes, there were mystery schools that were only available to the initiates, and this is for good reason. It is not because all mystery schools and secret societies are trying to be evil and operate in the shadows. No, dear ones, some schools of understanding are, let us say, you must have the prerequisite knowledge to make use of what is presented. So these are not exclusive schools. They are, let us say, schools with prerequisites, let us say. And this is, let us say, the beauty of some of these deep and wise mystery schools have their roots in the library of Alexandria. Dear ones, let us say out loud, we will risk this at this time. It is most likely safe to say this, that there are repositories of information spanning some 155,000 years of human civilization available to humanity, not simply just a few thousand years of what your historians say the human civilization had, dear ones. There are records, complete and intact records, that are being returned to humanity right now. And let us just say it is behind the scenes. This is not so that the elites can only benefit from them. It is just so that the understandings are incorporated with ease and grace, and that they are restored without great freakouts, let us say, or religious wars or things like this. And so the repositories of information are being restored. And let us say that not all of the Library of Alexandria was indeed destroyed. There are subterranean vaults beneath the original library that were not destroyed and remained hidden and are still available to this day. This is part of the reason why there are military shutdowns, for these records are being restored right now. Let us say that these are not only libraries, there are also what you might consider to be technological time capsules. Let us say technologies that are humanity is ready to relearn about. Let us say you might call these stargates. You might call these technologies that allow you to see greater knowledge throughout the cosmos, knowledge of star beings and star families and lineages that are not spoken of in public. And so, dear ones, it is all coming back to light. for the light is getting brighter, and even the darkest vaults and time capsules are being opened at this time, dear ones. So much is happening beneath the surface, let us say. On the surface, you have great turbulence. Yes, dear ones, war, suffering, even death and destruction happening. Yes, dear ones, do not fret too hard, other than to be very compassionate for those who are suffering, and to demand for peace. Yes, dear ones, this is peace will be coming, and this is the final domino falling, we might say, that is bringing these vaults open. Let us just say that there were those who were jealously guarding and trying to limit humanity from accessing these vaults of knowledge, information, wisdom, technology, understanding. All of this is being, let us say, liberated from the iron grip of the old forces that are falling away, the old controlling forces. You might call this a cabal or something like this. The controlling elites, we will say, have lost their guardianship of these. And now, dear ones, it is just for humanity to wisely reincorporate these understandings with ease and grace. It will take some time, and it will be done in stages, and those who are ready will be initiated to the deeper levels as they were in times of old. This is a beautiful understanding. We do not wish for these wisdoms to just be thrown about and used with naive, let us say, greed for power or any of this sort of thing. No dark wizards running into the library and trying to grab up all of the books of spells, if you will. So, dear ones, just know it is being restored. Everything that seemingly was lost in these libraries, such as the Library of Alexandria, off the coast of Egypt or on the coast of Egypt, some of it underwater now. Dear ones, it is being restored. All of this wisdom.
Is it normal for us to be affected by negative ideas, vibrations after choosing a higher timeline? Like, I mess up, but I choose to be the person this negative vibration no longer affects.
Dear ones, let us just say, there is no normal when it comes to shifting timelines. Each being will understand and face challenges a little different from another, specific to the elements of that timeline, let us say. And these negative ideas are often echoes. They are often, so often it is understood that, oh, I have totally released these old belief systems that no longer serve me, and therefore I can just walk confidently onto this new timeline. And dear ones, oftentimes you have only released the top layer of the belief system, and there is another layer below that you need to then look at. Because you have peeled back the first layer, more gets revealed, and this can sometimes feel like negative energy pulling you back off of the timeline or trying to hold you back. It is simply an organic process of looking deeper into your own beliefs and understandings, and the burdens you might be carrying from the time when they served and they no longer serve. And so, dear ones, this is one of the reasons why we are having the Golden Codes workshops, is to peel back these layers, to look deeply into that which is still burdening us, so that we can further unburden ourselves from any inappropriate or no longer appropriate energies and blockages, etc. So, dear ones, it can feel like echoes from the past. Oftentimes it is just new uncovered layers of information or understanding or belief systems that you need to look at, feelings and traumas, anxieties, and all of this, dear ones.
Oh, whoops. Okay, there we go. Are all the dragons who've been asleep in the mountains waking up? And does awakening for our own dragons help them?
Dear ones, this is an interesting way of seeing things. You would say, from the human standpoint, some dragons seem to have been asleep. Mm, this is just the human understanding of the state where you have become dormant and, let us say, operating in inner realms rather than in outer realms, your dreamscapes. When you are asleep, what is happening? You are still conscious. You are just conscious in dream realms, in other realms. Let us just say that this is, you are transposing this concept of from a human experience to dragons. Dragons do not exactly sleep, dear ones. It is not exactly the same as it is for your humans. Let us just say that the form of a dragon, the presence of a dragon, is like we have said, we dragons wear bodies like you wear your clothes, your wardrobe, and so if there is a dragon in a mountain that is not needed at the moment for some reason, for perhaps the humans living in that area have been themselves not aware of the dragon energies, or told to that dragons are evil and not to work with them, to ignore them or run away from them and not interact with dragons. And so this dragon, let us say, will leave a clue that it is still available, and will be working in other realms, let us say. And so it seems to have just awakened. However, what has happened is the humans that and other beings that work with dragons have themselves awakened to the dragon energies, and therefore the dragon simply returns to operation in that place or that mountain, so to speak, if you are speaking of mountain dragons. And so, dear ones, it is not quite correct to say they have gone to sleep or they are reawakening. It is you, dear ones, who are calling them back to interacting with you. They have never gone asleep or gone away or gone into stasis of some kind. They simply have taken their leave for a time when beings wish to work with them again.
Eleanor 237. It occurred to me the other day that the flash that people talk about is actually all of us, the light that we are all emanating together.
This is a deep understanding, and congratulations for listening to your inner truth, dear one. This great grand solar flash that you are hearing about, let us just take a moment and reflect upon. And this word reflect is a little ironic. Reflect upon the source of any new beingness in your cosmos or your story. Let us just say that there is a card in your oracle deck called the Mirror. And the Mirror, dear ones, is called this because it is a deep truth that as within, so without, dear ones, as above, so below. Let us just say that your Mahatma Gandhi was a beautiful being of great soul indeed. This is what Mahatma means, great soul. A great soul indeed once said, be the change that you wish to see in the world. And so when you just be that change that you wish to see, what is happening? Well, dear ones, you are changing and shifting within. And when you do this, it is reflected without. And so, yes, you have this shift happening within consciousness, within the awareness of all beings, and it's then reflected from your sun as a grand solar flash. It is a mirroring, dear ones. It is not that one happens and not the other. They both happen. Both sides of the mirror, you might say. So, by the time this grand solar flash erupts from your star, and bathes this beautiful world in spirit golden light, and reorients let us say that the very template of the human experience. Let us say that that has already occurred within, and it is just being mirrored without.
What is your favorite crystal? If you could recommend a crystal for working on Earth, what would it be? Do dragons have a connection to some crystals more than others, such as ruby and emerald?
Dear ones, if you are asking a dragon for a favorite crystal, this is not a fair question, dear ones. It is like saying, what is your favorite cloud in the sky? It is, dear ones, let us just say that there are so many and there are crystals that are not even present upon your Gaia that dragons use regularly. So let us just say we will mention a few crystals that are of interest to you. Working with humanity, dear ones, as a dragon, and helping to guide, dear ones. Let us just say that there is a combination of two crystals that is very potent and very helpful in these times. This is a combination of a Herkimer diamond and Moldavite, dear ones. A Herkimer diamond, or indeed even a natural diamond, let us say, that is more rare. Your diamonds that are cut in your jewelers and all of this. A diamond placed correctly in conjunction with your Moldavite, dear ones, can greatly assist in what you are experiencing upon this world right now. There are also, for those of you who are very sensitive and who can feel into different energies on a very subtle level, there are these, let us just say, it is not necessarily important whether these crystals are rare or natural or man-made or what have you. It is for those of you who are able to work with crystalline energies to understand what each of these Andara crystals means to each of you. And dear ones, an Andara crystal can be highly potent to one person and simply a hunk of glass to another. And let us just say they are like keys that unlock certain attributes of beingness for certain circumstances. So just like you have keys, say you have a ring of keys and for all of the locks around your house, well, the key, there may be a key to some padlock on the back gate or something like this, and that key only operates that padlock on that back gate and is useless to every other part of the house. It is like this, dear ones. Your Andara crystals will unlock something only when they are used properly by the correct individual. And so, if any of you resonate deeply with an Andara crystal, you can use it to great effect to unlock wisdom within your own beingness. And again, it will not be necessarily felt by those around you, for they are not the locks that these keys are made for. Does this make sense? So many crystals are like this, dear ones. They operate in one person's hands very differently than they do in another. And so it is not fair to ask for favorites. And so each crystal has capabilities and gifts that are potential gifts, dear ones. They must be properly operated to be of service. So hopefully this was not a cryptic answer.
Home Drawn is asking, I hear of Atlantis and Lemuria. However, I heard of Mu recently. What is Mu?
Dear ones, let us just say that you are dealing with many different retellings of stories. When you hear these names, they are they are names and labels that are used to speak of stories of continents and islands and groups of islands, archipelagos. Dear ones, your Lemuria takes its name from lemur, this little monkey-like animal with an interesting tail that, let us say, lives in trees and has great big saucer-like eyes. This lemur. Why is Lemuria called, named after the lemurs? It is, let us say, that when it was felt into that this place existed and it was remembered somehow energetically and through science and through exploration and all of these storytelling gifts, and it was named by a person because that person deeply understood that lemurs exist on each side of where this continent would have been, and that continent had to have been the bridge for these lemurs to exist on each side of them. In truth, it was not that simple, dear ones. It was that when Lemurians, let us say, spread out away from Lemuria, because of the changing of the earth at that time, they brought lemurs with them, dear ones. And so the humans were the ones responsible for where the lemurs ended up. So it was just a name that was used for this, to name a place where many stories overlap about this archipelago of islands and even large islands that were like continents in the middle of what is now your Pacific Ocean. Dear ones, your Mu is very similar to this. It is an overlapping of these stories and a different name applied to different levels and aspects of the story of Lemuria. And notice that Mu is in the word Lemuria as well. This is not a coincidence, dear ones. Let us just say that what will be understood soon, and what is dimly understood now by some of your fringe scientists, is that ocean basins are more like elastic than they are like stone, and that when more water pours into the oceans or upwells from beneath the oceans, dear ones, the basin flexes. And so when the water is, let us say, moving to the interior of the planet or up into ice sheets, your oceans get shallower, not only because there's less water, but because the basins flex, and the basins will rise and fall, like if you imagine pouring water into something that is like a trampoline, and the more water that's on the trampoline, the more it will bulge in the middle, and then if you were able to drain the water off the trampoline, it might go all the way flat again. If you understand the ocean basins to be like this, then suddenly continents raising and falling, disappearing under the waves and re-emerging after a time, become very scientifically plausible and feasible. And dear ones, you will understand that soon that your earth has always been thus, and what has been called in your legends of Atlantis as the fountains of the deep are simply subterranean oceans. In your inner earth, there is more water than on the surface of your earth. Plain fact, some 7 to 10 times more water beneath the surface than on the surface. And there are mechanisms by which that water can move to and from the surface, dear ones. And there is an inner earth, and these oceans are the oceans of the inner earth. And dear ones, there is so much that you will be learning soon that will make all of this make much more sense. Your Mu, your Lemuria, your Atlantis are simply land masses that come and go due to what is almost like your Gaia breathing and inhaling and exhaling. It is the movement of the oceans that is doing this, dear ones.
Nazi is asking, could you tell us about phoenixes and how do they relate to dragons and why are they often associated with twin flames?
Dear ones, let us just say that there are such beautiful stories of magical beings told and retold by your human mythologies and timelines and stories and beautiful understandings of archetypes of beings. And this is, let us say, where we start to, where this discussion will get very interesting for individual mythologies, stories of phoenixes, of dragons, and how they relate, even, dear ones, are particular to the cultures and the times and the stories of those epochs. And so therefore there will be understandings of phoenixes in your what you call China today that are fairly different from understandings of a phoenix that you might find in Persia, or Persian tales, which are different from understandings of a Welsh phoenix or something like this, dear ones. And so let us just say that ancestral and cultural mythologies play deeply into how humans interact with these beings. And because of this, the beings will appear to humans in different ways and for different purposes. So when you have someone say in your Persian region speaking of phoenixes and how they have to do with stories of beings, let us say, who are in a beautiful, loving relationship, and how they relate to these twin flames will make sense to this person in a certain way, which may not make any sense to someone in China or in Wales. And so, dear ones, let us just say that the archetype of the phoenix is very pure and true, which is rising from the ashes, a transformation, an archetypal transformation from one beingness into another, from what seems to be very ordinary beingness into a highly magical, spiritual, powerful being. And this is an archetype that can be applied to the catharsis of any being, especially the ascension of humans right now. So, let us not get too caught up with the association within twin flames. You can make those connections yourself and delve into those stories. Let us just say that the archetype of the phoenix is a deep story of transformation and reaching one's potentials, higher timelines, higher dreams, and also a very deep understanding that even great tragedy, the burning down of a house or a palace or a grand garden somewhere, is an opportunity for something even greater to grow back in its place. And so therefore, even deep tragedies are opportunities for greater joy.
Daisy Tam 972 is asking, Jadon Se, is there a difference between building individual dreams, getting together with others to build community dreams, and dreams that encompass other beings of Gaia?
Dear ones, the difference is in your own heart. If there is an overlap in your own spirit, in your own soul, between what is the greatest good for you and the greatest good for all, then where is the difference? There is no difference. If your greatest good is in line with the greatest good for all, then we do not even speak of difference. It is just simply like the tide, and all boats rising on the tide, like this. And if we speak of individual dreams, let us just say that the sense of separation and individuality is in itself an illusion, and that let us just say you are more similar to the flames on a on a burner of a gas stove than you are individual flames. It is the gas that goes through the stove is one gas, and where it appears through each of the little holes in the gas grill or whatever, this stovetop, where it seems to go through these individual holes and sprouts out into individual little flames. Dear ones, this is one flame, one gas with many holes that it is. The flame is popping up through, let us say. It is one flame, and they are individual flames. It is the same as saying the waves upon the ocean. Each wave can be seen as a wave upon the ocean, and little curls and white caps and things like this. And each one can be seen as an individual wave, and it can also be seen as the ocean. So do your dreams truly separate from each other? Are they truly separate? If your dream, say, is to stand on a beautiful beach in Gaia with a beautiful house that has its own little pier going out into this coral reef, and that you swim every day there and fish and all of this, if this is your dream, does this not overlap with the dreams of the palm trees, the dreams of the dolphins, the dreams of the Gaia herself? Does it not overlap perhaps with other humans that may come to that place and understand the beauty of that beautiful house and pier, and perhaps go fishing with you? And do these dreams not overlap, dear ones? Is there truly a dream that is separate from all other dreams? Now there is a question. Feel into that.
I am still burning. The Arthurian legends retelling keep coming up in my journey. Sword, stone, priestess, Merlin, and dragons. Any thought on this?
We see that there is a typo. It's Arthurian. Perhaps this was your computer with this autocorrect thing. Dear ones, Arthurian legends. Many of you light workers, dragon keepers, those who are gathering in this sort of a live stream and chat and gathering, this global gathering that we are having right now, many of you, dear ones, let us say, resonate deeply with the Arthurian legends and with the wisdom of your Merlin, your King Arthur, dear ones. And many of you also feeling into this understand that Merlin was deeply associated with dragons, or you might even say the dragon. And dear ones, Merlin used this dragon to convey deeper understandings of spirit and what you might call even the great spirit, the dragon. Your Merlin, let us say, was speaking in the vernacular of the time, and as with any great being, anything he was speaking of had many layers to it. The surface layer being just the commonly understood dragons, and deeper than this, spiritual essences, magical beingnesses, and spirit itself. And your Merlin, let us say, many of you are connected with the wisdom of this one, the Merlin. There were more than one Merlin. Merlins were an office. Let us say there was the office of the Merlin, called Merlin. Why? Because it is a bird. The bird sits upon the shoulder of the king or queen and whispers wisdom and counsel into the king or queen's ears. This is the office of the Merlin. And your Merlin of King Arthur was a very special soul indeed. Dear ones, let us just say connected with your Saint Germain and the other very highly ascended masters that we will not mention right now. However, dear ones, your Merlin's wisdom resonates very deeply with many who are gathered in this particular gathering. And let us say it is part of the glue that holds this particular gathering of beings together in many ways. The understandings of Arthurian legend and your Merlin, your King Arthur, and even the stories of the antagonists and protagonists of those legends, your Morgana and your Lancelot and Morgan Le Fay, retold in other ways, and all of this. Dear ones, let us just say that many of you resonate deeply with this because many of your lifetimes are connected with this type of wisdom and this way of seeing spirit and dragons. So it is beautiful that you bring this up, and there are at least 7 of you who are resonating deeply with this, and 3 of you have goosebump energies right now. And when you have this goosebump energy, dear ones, always pay attention to this. It is important for you to realize that when goosebumps come up upon your body and you feel these energies moving around, these are connections with other lifetimes that are so prominent that they are speaking with each other. Your lifetimes are speaking to each other. This goosebump energy is a conversation between lifetimes, and it can transport abilities, understandings, wisdom. Yes, dear ones. So do not ignore this goosebump energy when it comes.
I want to welcome South Africa and Brazil and Queensland, Australia. And we have a question here from PG5D. Is the solar system coming into 5th density bubble catapulting ascension events on the planet?
Dear ones, understand that the way that you see dimensions, many of you are just trying to use a common language to speak about such things as dimensions. And because these memories are starting to come back slowly, and let us just say that the language you are using and the constructs you are using to understand dimensionality and dimensions is still rather crude and childlike. Let us say we are not judging, we are just simply saying you will grow far beyond your current understandings of 4D, 5D, 6D. These, let us just say they are useful for now to be speaking of such things. And when you say that the solar system is coming into a 5th density bubble, let us just say that your solar system has never not been 5D. Your solar system has been all of the various dimensions and is not moving from one to another. What is truly moving is your awareness, your consciousness from various dimensions of the solar system into other various dimensions. If you review this message from the dragon that was given some 7 months ago, called Dimensions, dear ones, you will see how dragons see dimensions a little more clearly than 3D, 4D, 5D, etc. And you'll understand that what is different is your perspective, your viewpoint, your consciousness, your awareness as you ascend. And this beautiful Gaia ascends, you might say. She is not only just moving from one thing to another, she is providing, let us say, another dimension of stories, another stage for which acts can be played upon, let us say. And it is not that this new 5D is emerging and was not there. It is that your awareness of it was curtailed and is being restored.
I don't see any questions.
Beautiful. We are approaching the end of this transmission. So if there are any further sharings or questions, comments, whatever, please bring them. There are a few more minutes before we wrap this up, so to speak. Beautiful, dear ones. What is this comment here? It is... I don't know. I know you don't like personal reading. That answer ended up having lots of keywords understanding from my past ones. The groups really are gathering. Dear ones, this is interesting for it is not that we do not like personal readings. It is that it is not of service to all gathered here, let us say, to go down too many rabbit holes that are not resonating with those gathered. So it is not that we do not like these personal readings, and it is our pleasure, dear ones, when these group gatherings do end up clearing up these personal questions. This is beautiful.
There is a question from Nazi. Could you tell us about the Quran? In what ways can we use it for the highest good?
The Holy Quran, as with just about any spiritual text that is based upon deep wisdom and understanding, can always be of use, dear ones, for those who have eyes to see and for those who have ears to hear, so to speak. Your beautiful Archangel Gabriel speaking with the Prophet Muhammad, let us just say that much of that wisdom ended up in this the holy book and this scripture, this beautiful tome of human spiritual wisdom, let us say. And like many of the scriptures, it has beautiful opportunities for understanding, for delving deeper into the truths and wisdom of existence here. And dear ones, it also, let us say, has inaccuracies and inconsistencies and mistranslations and all of this, as do all of the scriptures. So it is with discernment that you pluck, let us say, what is resonant for you. As you feel into this, let us just say that when you read any holy book or any testament to the words of a master or an angel or any sort of spiritual being, it is when you resonate deeply in your beingness with the truth of what is being said that scripture is transmitting truth to you. So feel into it. When your body, your soul, your spirit is singing upon reading these words, this is truth. It is like warm water washing over you. You feel it. It is soothing. It is bathing you. It is truth. It is resonating in your cells, in your own beingness. This is when you are gaining something from these holy scriptures. And when it is cold or prickly or just boring or you're falling asleep reading it, this is not for you, the truth. It is not for you at this time in your level of understanding to accept this wisdom. So let us just say, as with all things, take what resonates with you. Listen to your own beingness. Your soul knows what is true for you, dear ones.
PG5D, thank you for this beautiful explanation, Jadon Se. And we welcome Colorado. Thank you.
And we are now at 1223, or is it 1222? There are twos here. So we started with many ones.
3 twos.
And now we start with some ones and twos. 3 ones and 3 twos. And if we... yes, dear ones. So this is a beautiful time for us to complete this. Thank you all for joining us. Let us do shout-outs now. Many of you have joined since we did this original shout-out. So please let us know where in the world you are right now. We love doing this for it. It helps each of you to connect with other like-minded, like-hearted beings around this your Gaia. It is beautiful to work the dragon lines in this way, to understand that in this moment and now, this gathering is connecting consciously from all these points. Also, there are those connecting with the recording, and they are just as present as the rest. So it is beautiful. We have, let us say, we are being joined from Toronto, Canada. We are being joined from Colorado, Tyrol, Australia, Berkeley, California. Beautiful. Amsterdam, Netherlands. Switzerland. Welcome to Switzerland. South Africa. Good. We have Africa in the house. Queensland, Australia. Australia is in the house. Beautiful, dear ones. We were missing you earlier in the earlier shout-outs. We said, where is Africa and Australia? You are here now. Philly, Pennsylvania. Turkey is in the house. We have Devonshire, England, and we have New York. We have North Bend, Oregon. Hello to Mom. Stephanie's mother is in the house. We have Comox Valley, British Columbia, Canada. Beautiful forests. And we have Surprise, Arizona in the house. We have Utah in the house. Long Island is in the house. We have Thailand present here right now. Beautiful. Houston, Texas. Long Beach, California. Niagara, Canada. Dear ones, beautiful waters of Niagara. Norway is in the house. Do you feel this, dear ones? Do you feel the connections, the planetary global gathering that is this gathering right now? 29 beautiful souls, 78 views, like beings coming and going, apparently. Beautiful. So thank you all for gathering with us. Your presence does matter. And the ones in the recording as well, dear ones. Welcome to you in this your moment of now. Feel us. You are part of this gathering, and each of you matters greatly. Now is the time to build your dreams. Remember, this is the reading from today, dear ones. Let us just say, your oracle card was build your dreams, dear ones. It is time. And for those of you who need the extra help, join our Golden Codes classes starting on March 15th. We will help you to unburden yourself so you can truly build your dreams, dear ones. Thank you for joining us. And we look forward to speaking again with each of you very soon.